guys?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Dave, can you please introduce this lovely, luscious-haired man sitting to your left?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce the newest member of Thunderbro, Glenn Wilkinson.
How you doing?
I found Glenn first as I found him at the end of a rainbow, next to a big pot of gold. Yeah, he is a diamond in the rough. Glenn is a lot of things. I think the most is he's a passionate coach with a huge heart, a lot of experience, and he's going to be heading up some really exciting new offerings that we have specifically targeted towards longevity. So for all the people out there that might think, hey, Thunderbro's a little bit much for me, or I'm not ready for that kind of volume and intensity, we're now going to have offerings to get people up to speed and to give them a path for training as they get older. And if you're someone who's maybe never really been serious in the gym, or someone looking to get back into the gym, or someone looking to train hard again without getting dinged up for the long game, Glenn's the man, and he's put together a phenomenal product offering with us that includes a lot of different stuff.
Amazing. Glenn, can you show us your shirt, please?
I certainly can.
Yeah, let's see that.
So this is my strap line. It says, "It's a lovely day in Ballymena." And you know what? Dave is really good at saying this. Sometimes he goes into, do you know Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did he?
Glenn, can you show these guys your resume underneath that shirt? Please, can you show me a little about the goods? Glenn is probably one of the fittest 55-year-old guys I've ever met in my life. And what's amazing to me also is that he's also a natural athlete, which is a rarity these days. But he's just a guy who's really committed to a lifestyle and very gifted on a number of levels, physically, emotionally, intellectually. And so it's so fun for me to be able to have the privilege just to know and meet these guys, but to have the opportunity to bring him in the business. And I think I've described him before as like just a diamond in the rough, this guy that has such great things to offer the world. And I'm so proud that we have really a community and a gym to build around him to hopefully bring some fantastic offerings and services to people, and make them part of our Thunderbro family.
Yeah.
Even when Dave talks about things like this, I'm so emotional. Like we were shooting a video yesterday and they just kept it going, but it was good because I think emotion and transparency and relationship and community, especially as you're getting older, they're all, fundamental things that have helped me along the way. And I'm just like, we've flown halfway across the world. My wife Jillian and I, who's just by my side all the time, like Dave and Cammy, we're a team, and it's such a privilege for us. Here you go again.
Yeah, that's his own crying is weakness leaving the body.
Terrible.
Dude, get out the tissues. No, I'm really excited that you're on. I know, Glenn, Dave and I, we've been starting to have, conversations weekly, just trying to reach out to the community, inform them just about stuff that's going on, in our community. So I think it's really awesome that you're here now. And honestly, I want to just take the time just to, get to know you a little bit. And so the community can see you, which is gonna be awesome because we're going to be launching this fairly soon, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have this slated for our kind of holiday season. So like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, and New Year's. We're going to open up the program a bit before. And then, we're going to try to build around Glenn because he has so much to offer. And I think for a lot of people out there that are wondering, like, what's the difference between, what Glenn's doing and what we're doing? Well, the truth is there are similarities and there are differences, but the common theme is that we both blend performance and aesthetics together. We all believe that muscle is the currency of longevity, and it's just finding a way, a training program that's going to fit you, that can evolve with you as you get older. And then the other thing Glenn brings to the table is, a tremendous amount of knowledge, not just in the gym, but for all things life, fitness, and wellness. So like, what you're doing with your nutrition, your lifestyle, how to take care of yourself, even some of the mental components, the recovery components. And when you stack all those together, what you get is some fantastic results. So, for those athletes that think, maybe there's not that much left for them, or training the way they used to is no longer working. I mean, we seek to provide answers for the two big questions. How do I continue to train hard as I get older? And how do I continue to see results when what I've been doing before is no longer, doing the trick?
Yeah. And I think you brought up a great point. I think that they're both super complementary. So Glenn, what do you see, in Dave and like Thunderbro that you started incorporating? And then Dave, you're going to answer that for the vice versa.
So we've been training together all week. It's been brilliant. My intensity is it's just slightly different, especially because I'm getting that little bit older. I spend a little bit more time preparing myself for that intensity as well, especially with joint movements. And there's little procedures that we've got in the longevity plan. There's little formulas that I've done. Dave has noticed that, older guys just take a little bit longer to get there. And the intensity still can be high, but again, the duration. And I think it's just working out that little bit smarter. And I've got little phrases, that I'll probably have the volume slightly lower. If Dave's maybe doing 5 sets, I might do 3.5, but, and again, with just little things that I've learned over the year, range of movement, mobility, lots of accessories, lots of isometric stuff, all things that I do myself personally, that through Dave's help, that we've just incorporated them into the longevity program.
Yeah, and when I look at Glenn, being around him, I love the simplicity of what he's doing. He's doing stuff in his program that I look at, I go, oh, it's just like a finisher that we do, but he's just doing it body weight, like our Bulgarian split squat death sets version hell, where we have people going for like 90 seconds as long as they can. Well, instead of holding the kettlebell, Glenn's just doing it at body weight, and he also creates a lot of intensity, focusing a lot on the integrity of the movement, right? So just making sure you can still move well, which is something we're always trying to communicate to the athletes through tempos or ranges of motion, or the basic saying like, hey, it's not just what you're doing, but how you're doing it that makes it so effective. And I think his voice just amplifies that theme.
Amazing.
I think as well, I try to adopt there's no ego. Even if Dave was bench pressing 4 plates today, brilliant. I'm not going to get sucked into that. I
was trying to bait him. He kept on, I said, weight on the bar, put more weight on the bar.
But that's one thing. I probably do have the capacity to put more weight on the bar. Yes, I do. But one of my sayings is, I'll live to fight another day. So tomorrow's workout is just as important as today's, and the older that we get, recovery. So we just need to be smart about things and say, hey, yes, I've done enough. I'm going to train hard, but I'm also going to recover hard.
And Glenn has been on both sides of the fence, right? He was competitive CrossFitter. He's been a professional soccer player. This is a guy who's been very highly competitive his entire life, and the fact that he recognizes that and understands there's lots of ways to create intensity. So especially for athletes that I think they feel maybe like there's nothing left for them because they only know how to create intensity one way, like just put more weight on the bar, right? Or move it from A to B. But, Glenn and I talked about, well, you can create intensity by trying to move more perfect. You can go deeper, you can go slower, you can move with increased control. You can move by, moving the bar faster as an expression of intensity. So there are lots of different ways. And you guys know this from all of our intensification methods of taking a light weight and making it really, really hard. And I love how simple he makes that for people, especially for a person who's like, maybe they haven't done 1 million back squats in their life. Maybe they're just learning these movements, right? Maybe they're getting back into the gym. Maybe they're afraid of them and they're being reintroduced to them, but in a much safer way. And that's going to be a fantastic opportunity to, I think, reinvigorate the athletic careers of a lot of people and still feel like they're training hard, they're working hard, they're seeing results. They don't have to train like they did when they were younger.
Yeah. And Glenn, what are you hoping for everyone listening to this, right? What are you hoping that people gain from this or to learn from this new program coming up?
Well, I'm a great believer in finding out where you are. So we have a very robust, well, maybe robust is not the right word. We have 12 longevity tests that Dave and I have worked on. And
it's what we call the Fitness Longevity Combine.
Well, I just
like that.
I'm
Just
so,
like an old dude benching.
It's really cool. It's really cool because like anybody, it's not even for people that are necessarily in a certain age bracket. I mean, we're ranking all people, but it's these very basic capacities that everyone should be able to do. And you get to see like where do you stack up based on your age and your gender. And now it gives them a starting point, as they enter Glenn's program, like here's where you started, and now here's where you are, and we can prove the efficacy of the program with real measurable results.
Yeah, I think that's really important, just to establish where you are, because this is a results-based plan. It's not just some workout plan for old dudes, so we want to maximize our potential. Like at 55, I've still got ambitions, to get better, to increase my muscle mass, to increase my cardiovascular fitness. Okay, it might be harder, with my hormones are maybe on the no, they're not. So I refuse to let age be any sort of barrier to my athletic performance, and as well how I look.
Yeah, we've mentioned this before, how a lot of people tend to overestimate the aging process. They give it a little too much weight, and sometimes they use that as an excuse just because they're not exactly the same as they were before. Physically, that doesn't mean that you still can't get results. You just maybe need to be a bit smarter about it. You need to add maybe some more components in. You need to kind of stack the deck in your favor a little more to make it easier for you to get results. And it's all the little things compounding that ultimately give you those results. And for a lot of people, unfortunately, half measures don't get results. So you really do have to take the step. You really do have to commit and go in, but it should be a prescription that's appropriate for you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I agree. I don't think age should be any sort of benefactor. I mean, I look up to you guys and be like, hey, I would love to be, in my late 40s, getting into my 50s and look like both of you. I'm sure someone like Kenny and Alec will say the exact same thing. So I think you guys are the true testament of age does not matter at all. And it's just a number.
Yeah. And then Glenn is just such a fantastic guy. I think the world's going to fall in love with him. And I think two things that stick out to me about him is one, he's incredibly authentic, right? There's no, this is 100% Glenn. And he speaks with a level of empathy and authenticity that I think a lot of people are going to relate to. And he is truly, has a heart of service, which fits in perfectly with Thunderbro. We're going to help people work hard, have fun, and find their thunder again. And I think this is a great avenue. Even if you're someone out there who's like, looking for maybe just like to take it down for a season, right? You're like, hey, I've been going really, really hard. I'm getting a little bit banged up. I just want to pull back a little bit and do something, like take it easy for a while and find a program that's maybe not as long and as voluminous and as intense, but still keeps me on track. This can be a great way to kind of integrate these types of things. For every season, there's a different goal for people. And sometimes it's about pulling back. And so this is a great offering for us to be able to put out there to people.
Yeah.
And guess what? If that doesn't work, we could always do some romance novels, and we can put you on like a minotaur with that flowy hair.
He's on the cover. And I'm just corrupting Glenn left and right. Like I'm going to get him on stage. He's eating carbohydrates now. It's crazy.
I know.
He's like, wow, I didn't know you could just guzzle honey right in the middle of the workout. I go, oh yeah, you get your
I've come over to the dark side.
Yeah,
let's come over to the dark side. Well, Glenn, Dave, thank you so much. I'm glad that we got to throw you in on here, because Dave and I had a lot of fun talking, and I'm glad that the community gets to see you and gets a little introduction of you before we launch.
Oh, they're gonna eat Glenn alive. I'm telling you, they're gonna love Glenn. Go check out his Instagram too. His Instagram is Grindstone Foundation, and he's got a tremendous following. And now what we're trying to do is find a way to actually bring a great product to that following. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much, and we will conclude.
Well, I say. Can you say for me? I'll see you on the next one. But you have to say it in my Northern Irish accent.
Well, we'll see you on the next one.
That's another Mrs. Doubtfire.
He has a very particular set of skills. He's accumulated over a long career.
Liam Neeson.
Skills like back squatting. Fasted cardio.
I'm expert at that.
Fasted cardio.
Things that make other men shudder.
No, Dave, that's pretty damn good.